we are back, picking right up where we left off. So Harkin Worldclaimer has been terrifying Vigilus with the imminent coming of a Baden the Despoiler. So Marnius Calgar's had to make some hard choices for the people of Vigilus, and has chosen to abandon certain locations and reinforce Imperial territory to help brace for the incoming War Master. So Ducton Hive Sprawl has already been evacuated and lost to the Genestealer cults. Mega Borealis and Mortwald still hang in the balance. And here we are on Dontoria, where the Death Guard have been steadily sowing their filthy brand of corruption since the early stages of the War of Beasts. And the situation is so dire now on Dontoria that Marnius Calgar has called for all remaining forces to evacuate and reinforce Hyperia, which is the heart of Vigilus. So the Iron Hands were previously fighting on Dontoria. They've decided that the calculus of war is not in their favour and have already left. And it's only the compassion of the Ultramarines or the remaining hope for the last remaining Imperial defenders. So we are playing a mission out of the New Chapter Approved 2018, and it's Cities of Death narrative play. Grand Assault is the one that we're going to be playing. So the deployment is like this. So the defenders, the Imperial forces, they've got 24 inches to set up in, and there's a 12-inch no man's land, and then the attackers have a 12-inch deployment as well. So in this mission, 6 objectives go down for the defenders, and they have to be within terrain or basically next to terrain to represent these locations. And the Death Guard are going to have to get onto those objectives. Once they've scored the objective, just by being on it, the objective disappears, and basically the Death Guard have got to get in there, corrupt these objectives, and they can't be retaken by the Imperium. So we've got to get into 6 locations essentially, control the objective, then that disappears, and it's basically a countdown. So the Death Guard have to get all 6 objectives to win. If they don't, it's a victory to the Imperium, and they get to evacuate. A few more extra bits for this mission. We've got sustained assault for the attackers, so the forces of Nurgle are going to be able to replenish the forces. Troops on 2. Anyone else comes back on a 4+ on your board edge, and then there's an extra little bit of this. When you come back onto the board, you can roll a dice. On a 6, you can come back from any board edge, so the forces of Nurgle can just come up through the floor like zombies, so to speak, on the 6 inches from the board edge, if you imagine that. So there's a few extra rules there. There's preliminary bombardment in effect as well, so we might see that in play. And then also, for the first time, and it's been pretty good, it was the first time on camera, but we have played this before, and we really enjoy it. Cities of Death, the rules for the extra covers. So obscured targets, if you're 50% covered the entire unit, there's a good picture to show that, it's -1 to hit. And there's rules for hard and soft cover. So if you're in a building, you're going to get a +2 to your cover save. If you're in anything else, pretty much, it's +1 to your cover save. And just 2 more things. Height advantage and lucky hit. So lucky hit is you always hit on a 6, so you can't ever be sort of cancelled out of shooting if your negatives are too much. So just like the orcs, a 6 will always hit. And height advantage, this one's pretty significant. If you're on a level above, so for instance, if someone's on here shooting down at someone below them, whatever weapon they're shooting gets an extra AP, and that's to sort of counter the strong cover effect. So it works out really well, and you should give it a read if you fully want to digest that, because I'm sure everyone's got this book anyway. So give it a read, and I would go even further. I would say everyone give those rules a play, because they're actually really good. So we'll get to see this in effect in this battle. So we'll just go through where the objectives have been put by the defender. So got one objective on the far left here, one up top, another one up top here, one in this building right in the centre there on the top, one next to the statue, and the final one on the far right here just behind these sandbags. Right, so in this mission the defenders set up first, then the attackers set up second. The defenders will have the first turn. There's no steal the initiative, so the defenders are set up like this. So what's in the force here?
Right, so we've got the last remnants of the Vigilus Guard here. They're holding the sandbagged emplacements. There's 2 squads of them. Each squad have got plasma weapons. And then we've got a Hellhound from that regiment. And then we've got a Scion detachment. Height there. They've got plasma weapons and a flamer in there. And then down below we have the commander of that force in his beret, and next to him we have a commissar lord, And helping them out, repairing vehicles, is the Tech Marine there. And then we've got the Taurox. Okay, so assisting the Imperial Guard are the noble Ultramarines, led by Librarian Vigilus. And he has the Tome of Markador, which entitles him to another psychic discipline. So he's got the Might of Heroes, Psychic Scourge, Null Zone, and the Smite power. And then we've got the Apothecary there just behind him, and a unit of 5 intercessors. Down below are the Dreadnought.
Oh, he's got the full onslaught array.
Yeah.
Plenty of shots coming out of him.
And we've got aggressors up here. They've got, I think they've got bolt guns.
Bolt storm gauntlets.
Yeah, and then the sergeant, the lieutenant there.
Okay, so for the Death Guard forces, we've got something special here. We've got the debut of the Galapox Infected. So there's an array of stuff in here. So you've got lots of Gribblies that move at various speeds, but they're just an annoyance. They do special things if you can just get them working right. So hopefully we'll see that in the game. We've got these, which are pretty cool. These are Vox Shamblers, so look out for them. And then, of course, the Hull Breakers and what's his name? The big guy, Vulgar Thrice Cursed. That's what Vulgar, that's his name. Thrice Cursed. So they're a pretty specialist kind of detachment there. They've got stratagems to go with them, and hopefully we'll see some special tricks out of them. So the main body of the Death Guard, we've got the Warlord first and foremost. It's going to be the Demon Prince. He's got the Suppurating Plate for his relic, and his Warlord trait, he's going to have Disgusting Resilient on a 4+. He's got his second in command, the Lord Contagion, and then we've got the Noxious Blightbringer, just as is. 3 Myphitic Blight Haulers in the only configuration you can have. And then we've got Unit 16 Poxwaters, another Unit 16 Poxwaters. And then on the left here we've got the Blood Drone, the Fetid Blood Drone, and a Rhino with 7 Plague Marines in. So these are the Plague Marines that are inside the Rhino. So the 7 Plasma Gun, Melter Gun, Power Fist, and Plague Sword for the Sergeant, the Aspiring Champion, to give him his proper name. And I also forgot to mention the Demon Prince. Of course, he's a Psyker, so he's got Miasma of Pestilence for his psychic power. Okay, and of course it's worth saying, once again, this is a narrative game. It's not a match play game. So take those match play rules and push them to one side. We're in deep on the narrative today. Alright, so just before we kick off the first turn, we have to do our preliminary bombardment. So you can just imagine the toxins raining down from the skies. So what this means is if we roll a 6 on a unit, they're going to take a hit, and we'll see what that is. So the Intercessors first, we need a 6. Nope. The Librarian needs a 6. Nope. Apothecary. Nope. Dreadnought. Nope. Infantry unit here. Nope. Lord Commissar. Nope. The Company Commander. Yes. Right. So he's hit. He's an infantry unit, so you can choose to go to ground. It's D6 mortal wounds. If you choose to go to ground, it's only D3.
He will go to ground.
Yeah, so he's choosing to go to ground, which means he will not get to act in the first turn. So D3 mortal wounds for him. It's the full 3. Terrible for him. The Taurox. No. The Tech Priest on a 6. No. The Hellhound. Yes, that's D6 mortal wounds on the Hellhound. This is a... oh, nasty. Full complement. Right, so that's devastating news for the Hellhound. It's on its second bracket already. The Tech Priest is furious. He's going to have to fix that back up. And the Company Commander's on 1 wound remaining already. Right, the bombardment continues. So the Scions up top. No. And the Lieutenant, Ultramarines Lieutenant. No. The Aggressors, this is a big one. No, they get off. And then the last squad here are okay. So big hits in the centre, but everyone else comes away. Right, so Imperium turn 1, they come out fighting. So the infantry have all moved forward. So it's worth remembering, because he went to ground, he can't do anything. He can take no actions. So that's going to rule him out from orders as well. So he's just standing there like a tin of milk while he inhales that Nurgle smoke that came down on him. Must have been some sort of neurotoxin, so he's stationary, can't do anything. But the Commissar, he goes up, he's marshalling him while the company commander just babbles and drools from his mouth. Up here, just everyone shuffles forward a bit, but of course the aggressors stay still. And at the end of the movement phase, the Tech Priest, he heals 3 wounds on this Chimera, so he's now got 8 wounds remaining. So he's actually back up on his full tier of health now. So over here the Dreadnought stays still, and then all of the intercessors and characters, they take a step to the side here, ready to take on the oncoming hull breakers underneath that arch there when they rear their ugly heads. Alright, Psychic phase for the Psyker. So he's going to do Might the Heroes on the Contempt of Dread. Needs a 6 to get that off, and he just gets it off. Efficient. Alright, we're going to start off shooting with the intercessors. There's 4 of them can see targets. So 2 of them can see the sludge grubs, 2 of them can see the eye stinger swarms, the fly looking things. So of course the colour coded, so yellow dice are going to be at the sludge grubs, blue the flies. The flies have got a special rule, that obscured, so it's a -1 with the city fight rules. And because the flies have got a built-in rule for -1, so blue dice hitting on 5s, yellow hitting on 3s. Okay, so all hit on the grubs, but the flies get away with it because they're needing 5s on those blue dice. So 2's to wound on the grubs. So there's 2 wounds, and there's just simply no save for the grubs. And AP -2, because 1, just to remind you of the rules, it's AP -1 for the bolt gun, and because they're up a height, which is a good example, the extra AP -1 with Cities of Death. Right, and the sergeant from the window, he's going to fire down at these poxwalkers. So 1 shot, and he's missed because the Ultramarines did move to the right. So if they stood still, they would have got bolter drill. Right, next to fire is the Redemptor Dreadnought in that window over there. You can just see him. We've made sure we deployed these out of 24-inch range of him, so he's only got his 36-inch main gun in range, and he's going to fire at the Myphitic Blight Haulers. So we're almost obscured there, but there's a little gap through there. So because the whole squad's not 50%, he won't be suffering that -1 for being obscured with the city fight rule. So he's just got 12 shots, hitting on 3s, just like normal. But it looks like a pretty poor roll. So you've got 5 hits. It's pretty bad, right? Needing 5s to wound, and doesn't get anything. Okay, next up we've got the Brave Guardsmen who've moved forward. They're going to fire at the Blight Haulers as well. They're just going to try and chip off as many wounds as they can. So black is las guns, blue is the long range plasma. So 4s to hit, and of course the plasma did not overcharge, so that 1 has saved his life because he chose not to flick that switch into overcharge. So we've got 2 hits so far and a runaway dice, but only 2, needing 6s to wound because of the high toughness. It's toughness 7, these Blight Haulers, very, very handy indeed. So 2 fails there, so we're coming away scot-free so far. Right, so it's now the aggressor's turn, so this is going to be pretty formidable. So they did stay still. They're going to fire at the Myphitic Blight Haulers, and because they're up a height, they're AP -1, which is pretty savage. So they're going to fire twice, all shots at the Myphitic Blight Haulers. So here is the first batch.
And we played Scions of Gulliman.
Oh yes, played Signs of Gulliman. Didn't get the command point back because of the Warlord trait. So he's reroll 1s to hit, reroll 1s to wound because he's got a lieutenant in that nest as well. So a couple of 1s to reroll. So Signs of Gulliman is getting paid back. There's another 2. There's another 1. Okay, so rerolling these. Right, so 3s to hit, so all those 1s and 2s go away. And then still needing 5s to wound, which is pretty hard, but at AP -1, any of that do would be pretty nasty. And then reroll 1s to wound, so just 1 to reroll there because of the lieutenant.
No.
Okay, so no 1 there.
That's a substantial crop.
Okay, so that looks like 6 there. So 6 at AP -1 we're saving on 4s. Because of that AP -1, because they're up a height. Okay, so we've lost, we've passed 2, failed 4, and then we've got Disgusting Resilient on top of this, which passed 3, which is really good. So only a single wound taken there. These have got 8 wounds each. Right, so just 1 wound so far, but it's not over. They're going to fire again because they stood still. So 3s with reroll 1s. So 3 reroll. Need 3s. No. Now it's 5s, reroll 1s again because of the lieutenant. So there's 3 1s to reroll, I can see. Right, none convert there, so we've got 4, 5, 6, 7. It is the number of Nurgle. Let's see if he rewards us with some healthy armor saves. 4s because the AP -1, so save 3. So saving's not going well, but Disgusting Resilient has been pretty good so far, and it's served us again well. So 2 more wounds, and this is down to 5 wounds left now. Right, still not over. We've got the Fragstorm missile launchers. We're going to just do these both together, both rounds of shooting. So there's 6d6 shots to determine how many there is. So that is 6, 10, 18, 23 shots coming out. So these, again, AP -1. There's a ridiculous amount of dice coming at us, but we're holding up so far. So again, 3s with reroll 1s. There's another one just there. So those 2s go astray. There's another one. So 2 reroll. And they don't pay off either. So again, 5s because these are strength 4, much like the Boltstorm gauntlets. And reroll 1, so 5s needed. And there's another one. Yeah. So, nope, no paying off there. So there's a couple I can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5. So 4's to save because of the AP -1 business. And we've only filled 1 Disgusting Resilient, which we saved. Wow, completely bounced off. Right, so the Scions are going to fire in the building. So there's 2, because they're only range 18, which is a bit sad. I wish they were longer range, but 2 firing at the Poxwaters, and then there's going to be a handful of shots. Well, 2 shots coming at these. So at the Poxwaters first, 2 hot shots. There's 1 hit, and the other one.
No, 2 hits.
Was a hit as well, but we didn't see it. But yeah, so there's 1 wound on the Poxwaters. No save because it's AP -2, but we'll get a Disgustingly Resilient, which we fail. So we've lost our first zombie, the first of many, no doubt. Alright, so the 2 that we're firing up here, we've got 1 hotshot las gun and a plasma gun. So the plasma gun is not overcharging.
Plasma gun's blue.
So the plasma gun in blue, and he's missed anyway with the plasma. Lucky he didn't overcharge, but that was a hit from the hotshot las gun.
6.
And doesn't wound, that was a 2. Right, next up we've got the Taurox in the distance there. He's going to fire all weapons into the Myphitic Blight Haulers. So he's got the autocannons first. And he's hit with all but 1. And strength 7 against toughness 7, 4s required. So 2, AP -1, so we're saving on 4s again. It's a familiar feeling. We'll get 1, fail 1, so it's 2 damage. We're going to need 2 Disgustingly Resilient rolls, which we pass 1, fail 1. So the Disgustingly Resilient is just, once again, so nice. But we need it because we're coming under some fire. So we've got rockets, 2 rockets out of the Taurox. Both hit because it's got a competent gunner in it. So strength 8, needing 3s to wound. And only 1, that's a 6 on the other side of that wall. So AP -2, we need a 5 to save. Which we do not, so it's D6 damage. Oh, it's a mystery. It's a 2.
Come on, boy, reroll on.
Thought that might be the case. It's only 4 wounds left on
this.
his.
Back. Don't.
He doesn't get the command point back, but he's going to reroll for that damage. 4 left on this. Can he do it? No, it's even worse. That was a 1 in the distance. So can we Disgustingly Resilient that? No, we can't. Right, he's got 3 wounds left. It's Myphitic Blight Hauler. Right, last squad to shoot is the infantry unit up here. So they're at extreme range here. So 2 las guns at the Poxwaters, 3 las guns at these, and a plasma gun. So these are the 2 at the walkers have missed, and then 3 plasma guns and a sorry, not 3 las guns and a plasma gun.
2 hits.
Yep. So 2 hits, 1 las gun, and the plasma's blue. So the plasma doesn't wound, and neither does the las gun because that's strength 7 versus toughness 7. So these still remain intact. Alright, that's it for the Imperium's first turn. A bit shaky start for them. The death card will be upon them soon. No morale check for these because the leadership 8 and they only lost 2. Okay, the forces of Nurgle, turn 1. So we are starting to move out to reclaim this brand new Garden of Nurgle that we're trying to build. So the Rhino is advanced, goes 15 inches I think, so it's well on the way, posing a big threat there, as is the fetid Blight Drone that's flown advanced as well, but it's got an assault weapon so it can still fire those Plague Spitters over the wall at the Guardsmen. We're in for a torrid time, those. Pretty much everything's advanced, so the Poxwaters go forward. These don't advance, of course. These have got the heavy weapons. We're going to try and return fire as we can. Demon Prince goes forward, so does the Noxus Brightringer. Advance move from the Lord of Contagion. Poxwaters, they go forward as well. And over here we've just broken up a little bit. So the Glitchlings, as they're called, they go and blend into the trees there. Those little handsome lads there. The Sludge Grubs, the remaining 2, just I don't know what to do with them, so they've just gone into that building. The Curse Mites, I think that's what they're called. They've got the fly keyword, so they go 8 inches and advance 6, so they're right up there. They've got the fly keyword, so they hop around. And these go 10 inches right onto the corner here, because that's how far they can move. And then the big move was the Hull Breakers rolled a 6 to advance, so they've gone right into the corner of our building in the shadows where they belong. And Vulgaraz with them as well, so just about to spring and attack out that building onto the unsuspecting Ultramarines. Although I do suspect that they're there. Okay, so we're still in the movement phase. I thought we'd do this and show you this on camera. So we've got the Vox Shamblers here. There's 3. I haven't moved them yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to pay a command point to do Geller Shift, which is a special stratagem for them. So what it is, they can basically teleport around the board, so 9 inches away from the enemy. So they're going to teleport, and it's before you move in the movement phase with them. So I thought I'd do that now. So that's the last thing we'll do. So we're paying a command point to do that, and these will teleport themselves over to here where the objective is, where it's unguarded. So what they do in the fluff is they, because they're sort of like cyber zombies, they go through the static in the air and they can teleport. So off they go. So there we go, they teleported over there, caught the Ultramarines unaware, and now we control this objective, and that's now been corrupted. So that's 1 down, 5 to go. So is there anything more terrifying than jumping, teleporting zombies? Alright, so it's the end of the moving phase for the forces of Nurgle. We're now going to enter the psychic phase, so we're going to play Miasma, or we're going to attempt to do it. Miasma of Pestilence is going to be played from the Demon Prince onto the Myphitic Blight Haulers, and there'll be -1 to hit if we get it off. We need a 6 to make this happen. So it comes off on a 7. That's the number of Nurgle. Right, so that psychic power couldn't be denied because we're well out of 24 inches from the Librarian. So we're going to move on to the shooting phase. So the fetid Bloodtron is going to fire his Plague Spewer at the Guardsman in the distance there. It's got a range of 9, so he's well in there. So 2d6 shots, he's going to get 4, which is not very good. Do we crank that up because we rolled a 1? Command point reroll? No, we're just going to live with it. 2's to wound because it's strength 6. So there's 4 wounds, AP -1. So you're going to be needing to save on 6s for these Guardsmen. Oh, it's a good roll. 2 die, 2 survive. Right, next up, that Rhino just pops smoke, so it's now -1 to hit. And we're going to move on to the big shots here. So we're going to have the Blight Haulers, they're going to fire all of the shots into the aggressors. So we're going to have the Plague Spitters first, the Bile Spurt even. So it's Assault D3 each, so we're only getting 1 shot out of each of them. And because we're still 3 strong, we've got a +1 to hit, so we're hitting on 3s. We roll 1s because of the presence of the Demon Prince. So only 2 hits with strength 6 against the aggressors upstairs. So we do 2 wounds, which is nice. It's AP -1, but you're in cover, and not only that, you're in hard cover, so you're actually saving on 2s against this. So it saves them both, so no damage from that. Now it's the big weapon, so we're going to have 3 missile launches at them. We're going to see if we can blow them out of their little nest there. So 3s to hit, all hit. 3s to wound, all but 1. So it's AP -2, but again you're in hard cover, so it's cancelled that out. So you're saving on flat 3s. 1 goes through. Command point reroll. He gets it. See if you get that command point back.
Nope.
No, doesn't come back for him. But that is big because he survived. Right, now we're going to fire something meaty at him. We've got the multi-melters. This might blow him out of his tree. Reroll 1s because of the Demon Prince. Oh, it's missed. So we need 3s because it's just toughness 5, those guys. Right, there's 2. So this is effectively, well, it's AP -4, but because you've got hard cover, that's -2. So AP -2, you need 5s to save. No. Alright, this is deadly. So we've got 2, and they're both at close range, so the best of 2 dice. So there's 1 dead, and the second shot is the other dead, because that's a 4 and a 5. So there's 1 aggressor remaining. Okay, Demon Prince, he's going to fire his Plague Spewer. He can have one with the FAQ, because that's what that thing on his arm is. So we've given one, and he's going to fire that up into the building. So it's effectively a heavy flamer with a range of 9. So he's going to fire that into the building. He's going to get 3 shots out of it. And he strength 5, so we need 4s to wound. And we get 2. So it's AP -1, but because you're in hard cover, it's actually going to give you a 2+ save. He takes a single wound. Okay, so that's the end of the shooting phase for the Death Guard, because there's nothing else that can shoot. We're all got rusted knives over here and chomping mouths with the zombies. So that is it for the Death Guard turn. So we got 1 objective over in the corner there because of the Vox Shamblers, which is pretty good. And we're making our way up this flank as well to get to that objective. Okay, turn 2 for the Imperium. They're going to try and put up a big defense here. Right, so this unit just keeps on shuffling to the left. They don't need to worry about bolter drill because they're now in rapid fire range of some stuff. The Librarian and the Apothecary have words of themselves. They see these weird looking zombies and they decide they're probably going to smite them to death, give them the full might of the electricity. He stays still, of course. And over here, the 2 Cadian squads, because these are, I forgot to mention that these are Cadian, but the Cadian. So they've stood still, they're going to reroll 1s, and the commander now comes out of his haze, and he's ordered them both for first rank fire when that time comes anyway. And he needs to heal D3 wounds on this Chimera. It's not Chimera, it's a Hellhound. So you're going to roll your dice for D3. Just the 1. So still, every little helps after that initial bombardment. So 9 wounds left on the Hellhound. Okay, so up top, just a bit of a reshuffle. The aggressor stays still, and the Scions go forward a little bit. Right, so the Psychic Phase is going to have Smite from Jupiter's at the Vox Shamblers. Comes off on a 9, so it's D3 wounds. Could just absolutely wreck the unit here, but it's only 1.
Command point reroll.
He's got a command point reroll. He's not shy with the command points, and that is why he's got 3. So he gets a command point back. Doesn't. That was a 1. Hard to read on those dice. But anyway, we do have disgustingly resilient saves with these. And we fill all of them, so they are no more. Being racked by electric.
Did what they had.
Overload the brains, and then the Geller masks just shattered into pieces. Okay, happy with what he's done, he's going to turn around and put Mighty Heroes back in the Dread. Bring up a toughness 8 again. And that comes off on a 7, because he needed a 6. So onto the shooting phase, we're going to have the intercessors. They're going to fire down through the windows into the bottom window of that building there, because we can see the hull breakers through that gap. Funnily enough, you can't see the curse mites on top because they're too small. So he's got 10 shots, elected not to play Signs of Guilliman, and because they're obscured, they're needing 4s to hit, so these don't hit. So these are toughness 5, so you're needing 5s to wound. And 2. Right, so we've got the benefit of hard cover there, so we're going to save on absolutely nothing, because you're up a height, because of the Cities of Death rule, you're up a height, so you're AP 2 bolters. So it cancels out my cover, so I've got a 6 save of my natural save. So don't get it. And then we've got Disgustingly Resilient, which we make both. Wow. Disgustingly Resilient rules all. Okay, so we're back on the shooting over here. So we've got the Tower Rocks. It's going to fire at the Myphitic Blight Haulers. Now, we played Miasma of Pestilence last turn, so this whole turn going to be -1 against the Myphitic Blight Haulers. So the autocannons, they're going to need 4s to hit. And all miss. 2 missiles, this could be the one. Need 4s, and they've fluffed it as well. Okay, not good from the Tower Rocks. He's a good shot, that one. Hitting on 3s normally, but he's finding it hard to get his shots through the smog and the horribleness.
We'll start with him.
So Lord Commissar hits on a 2. Is he overcharging?
No.
Okay, so he's not overcharging, so he needs a 4. Doesn't do it. It's a good idea not to overcharge these because you'll die on a 2 instead of a 1. So he's still going to overcharge? Okay, so these did stay still, so the Cadians, so they can reroll 1s. So all of these shots are going to be hitting on 5s because they're at long range. Sorry, because of Miasma of Pestilence on them. So, are these the plasma guns?
Plasma, and then the firing twice.
Okay, so let's have the pistol.
2 shots.
No, just the one.
Just the one.
And he does hit, so let's have the plasma gun as well. 2 shots on the plasma gun. He'll overheat on 2s and 1s. So he's killed himself, but he did hit with 1. Okay, so there's 2 plasma shots and strength 8, so I need 3s to wound. Just the 1.
Command point reroll.
Command point reroll. Gets it. Okay, so 700 invulnerable.
Do get it back.
Okay, gets that one back. And we've got invulnerable 5s to save here. We'll make 1, fill 1, and then Disgustingly Resilient for 2 damage. Okay, right. There's 2 wounds. This is on its last wound now. If he does take out just one of them, that means this grouping will be hitting on 4s instead of 3s as soon as I lose that 3rd one. So there's lasguns to fire now. Because of first rank fire, it's going to be 8 times 4 shots. Okay, so we fired off all the lasguns. There was a lot of shots, but hitting on 5s and needing 6s to wound didn't actually get anything. We're just trying to speed up the game here, so there's no point of seeing all those dice try and get 5s and 6s. So no damage off the lasguns. Okay, so we're going to move on to the aggressor in the corner here. He's going to try and pick up that last wound on there. So he's going to fire twice. So he's got 12 shots, and he's hitting on 3s. No, he's hitting on 4s because of Miasma of Pestilence, excuse me. So he's got only 4 hits. He needs 5s to wound, but he can reroll 1s because the lieutenant is on his shoulder. Can reroll that 1. He doesn't get any. Right, it's going to be down to the Fragstorm missiles. So 2d6 shots. He's going to get 9. It's not too shabby at all. But again, he's going to be needing 4s to hit because of Miasma of Pestilence, keeping us intact somewhat. So I can see quite a lot of hits there. Wow. Right, 5s to wound, reroll them 1s. Okay, so there's 3 in total there. Okay, so AP -1 again because you're up a height. Just gives you that extra AP. And we'll fill 1, and then it comes down to this. Disgustingly Resilient. I do want to command point reroll that. Yeah, I think we'll command point reroll that. That failed armor save, so we're going to need a 4. No. So we've lost another command point. But now we get Disgustingly Resilient at 5. Oh, it's gone. Does it explode on a 4? It does. So that's a mortal wound all around. Alright, so this dies, and then it explodes 7 inches, but it's just 1 mortal wound. So 1 mortal wound on the Poxwaters needs to be Disgustingly Resiliented. Nope, so we lost the Poxwater here. The Lord of Contagion just takes it on his chest. Mr. Belfort, nope, takes a wound. And the Demon Prince, he's got a Warlord trait which allows him to save on a 4 for Disgustingly Resilient, and he does. And then the unit itself needs a 4, needs a 5, so they get that. Okay, so the Imperium are pretty happy with that result, knocking out one of those. And now it's time for the Scions. So half the squad over here is going to fire down at the Poxwaters. The other half is going to fire at the Blighthaul. He's going to overcharge his plasma. He's really looking to take out more of these because these are the things that can harm his Dreadnought and his tanks. If you can take these out, then it might be home free for the vehicles. So we've got the plasma gun down at the Myphitic Blighthaulers. And he's killed himself twice over. That was bad news. And then the sergeant with a plasma pistol. He does hit. We'll count that. And then wounds on a 3. And does wound, right? So we've got an invulnerable 5 to save. And we do save it anyway on an enjoyable 6 there. Alright. So, he's helping us out here, killing these plasma guns off. So, Miasma of Pestilence working pretty nicely. Alright, so he's got 3 hotshot las guns to fire down at the Myphitic Blight Haulers as well. So he is within close range, so that's 6 shots. He's hitting on 4s. That's pretty good. And needs 6s to wound. Doesn't get anything. Oh dear. Alright, now over to these ones. These have got an easier job. They're going to fire down at the poxwater. So there's a flamer and 3 hotshot las guns.
Flamer?
So the flamer, this is the one that burns the undead. So 2. Needs 3 to get 1. So we'll need a disgustingly resilient. Which we do not get, so we've lost the poxwater. And now for the 4 hotshot las guns. So 8 shots. Coming in, hot shot. Right. So there's another hit because he's hitting on 3s because these are good shots. 4s to wound. And he gets 2. So we get disgustingly resilient against this. And we fail 2 more. So we lost 2 extra. Okay, the lieutenant at the back, he doesn't want to be left out. He's going to fire his pistol shot down at this guy in the wing. And he misses on a 2. Because he's weapon skill 2, but ability skill 3. Alright, we're going to have this infantry unit in the distance. Over there. We're going to fire at the fetid blowthrower, and they don't like the cut of its jib. So it is obscured because it's behind the wall from where they are. So they're at a -1 to hit. But the Cadians, they're going to reroll 1s, and they've got first rank fires, so they're firing twice, so to speak. So 5s to hit, reroll 1s, no 1s to reroll, unfortunately. And then 6s to wound because it's such a tough nut. So 1. And because you're on the ground level, there's no extra AP, thankfully. So saving on a 2 because I'm on the wall and obscured. That is a save. So that saves, and then 5s again. Reroll 1s. There's another 1 to reroll. Okay, the hard ask is 6s.
No.
No, right.
2 plasmas.
2 plasmas.
So the gun?
Not overcharging.
Yes, overcharging.
Yes, overcharging, right. 1s and 2s will kill you, so he's killed himself.
Yeah.
Then the sergeant, is he going to bravely shoot? And he does, he hits.
That's 2.
No, because he needed a 5 for that.
Did I?
So 1 hit with a pistol, needs a 3 to wound. Does get his wound, right, so this will blow straight through the cover. So invulnerable 5 to the rescue. No, it's 2 damage, so we need a disgustingly resilient 5. Right, we take a single wound. Alright, so that's the end of the shooting from the guardsmen. It's time for the sleeping hellhound behind the corner there. We can just see it over there. It's going to fire through the windows because it's on the wall there. It's going to fire through the windows, a gout of flame coming in at the undead. So flame's the best way to take on this sort of horde. So 2d6 for the Inferno Flamer, only 5. But still, that's what you get. So 2s to wound, because it's strength 6, and he gets 4. So he can disgustingly resilient, if we're lucky. We get 1, so 3 burn to death in the cleansing flame of the Emperor. Right, last thing to fire is the dread, the hidden dread in the window. And he's going to fire out of the front window at the blight haulers. So again, Miasma of Pestilence in play at -1. All guns at these. So 4s to hit. And this is the onslaught cannon and the heavy onslaught cannon. So a lot of shots there. So 4s to hit, remember, so you've got to pick out those 3s.
And was it 3?
Yeah, there's 2 3s.
It was 2 3.
Yeah, just pick out another one. There we go. And 5s to wound, because it's that magic strength 5. 1, 2, only 2. Right, not very good from the dread. And we saved on 4s because it's AP -1. Save 1, fail 1, disgusting resilient. Pass. Alright, got the Icarus rocket pod, so that's D3 shot. And he's getting 2. This is against flying targets, is a little bit better, but you're going to need 5s because it's not a flying target. And he gets 1, strength 7, so you need a 4 to wound. Gets it. So AP -1, needs a 4, we'll get it, pass. And then there's storm bolters, so with the bolter drill in effect, there's 8 shots coming down range, out of the window, and straight into the jugular of this. So 5s to hit, because it's Miser of Pestilence. Oh no, sorry, 4s to hit, what am I talking about? So that didn't wound, and then there's another set of dice to roll.
2.
2, right, got that. So 3s to save. Fail 1, disgusting resilient. Don't do it, right. And first wound on one of the fresh ones. Okay, that is the end of the Imperium's turn 2. You may think he's wasting all these shots at the machines, but when he could just take out the poxwaters, but it's tactical. If you just let the poxwaters get into the game and then blow them away, when they do return with sustained assault, they'll come on at the back of the board. If you take them out too early, it's like nothing ever happened. So he's just trying to get rid of the dangerous machines. Piling the pressure on now. So the movement on the left just swings up, and we're on that objective now, so we're going to take that objective and corrupt it. So that's now 2 out of 6, so 4 left to go. So we're going to try and burn down as much as we can. We're not getting the Plague Marines out just yet. The Poxwaters advance deep into the building. They're just going to make a nuisance of themselves. The Demon Prince stays on the corner. We've got reasons for that. He's going to have a showdown with people in the street as well. The Myphitic Blightholders go off to try and get in range of the Dreadnought in the window. We're going to try and put our multi-melters to good use, hopefully. And then the Poxwaters run a great distance. That's because everyone used the Noxious Blightbringer's ability to go forward, and then he used his own ability to go backwards to ready for any sustained assault, because we're going to lose all of our Poxwaters soon, I think. So it's best to try and get them back on in good shape, and he's in position. So over here, big push on this side as well. All of the Gallowpox infected are just flooding out of the building, trying to make a nuisance of themselves in front of all those Primaris Marines over there in the building. So we've got the hull breakers, and then they're surrounded by the curse mites, that's what they're called. And then we've got the flies and everyone in the streets, just all manner of ugliness is coming out. Right, we're going to enter in on the Psychic phase now. So this is the reason why I've kept the Demon Prince on the corner. He's going to smite that aggressor who's right there. We'll just take him out. He proved to be really hard in that hard cover. And with being obscured as well, it's going to be absolutely atrocious to try and get him out. So we're going to smite him and make this quick and painless. He's only got 1 wound left. Oh, it's a super smite. Well, you know, we're just going to command point reroll that because we've passed it anyway. There we go. We've stopped ourselves getting nailed with some mortal wounds, but we've spent a command point to do that. That was worth it anyway. So we just need a 1, will do. Yep, so he's gone. That's 1 mortal wound. Well, it's 3 mortal wounds, but he only had 1 wound left, so he goes off into the sky, turned into some sludge on the floor, thanks to the gifts of Nurgle. Okay, over here we're going to have the Fetid Bloatdrawn. He's going to try and turn those guardsmen to sludge again. See if he gets a better roll this time. And he gets a 6. Do we want to crank that up a bit? No, we're just going to leave it at 6. It's a decent number. We need to save our command point rerolls for the Dreadnought when we come to fire at him. So here we go. 2s to wound. We reroll 1s because of Plague Weapon. And 5 wounds. AP -1. So you need 5 saves of 6. Okay, 4 perish in the sludge. Right, Demon Prince is going to fire his Plague Spewer up into the building on the Scions. He's going to get 6. So it's basically a heavy flamer shot. And he needs 3s to wound. Okay, there's 4 wounds. It's AP -1, but you're in hard cover. So ultimately, you're actually going to be saving on 3s. And that is terrible. 3 gets sludged. Okay, so we're going to change plan. We did think about firing the Myphitic Blightholders at the Dread, but because he's obscured, we'll be hitting on 5s. So we're going to turn the turrets and everything. We're going to fire all the main guns at the Tower Rocks, and then the Plague Spitters, or whatever they're called, the Spitty bits, at the Guardsmen. So we're going to have 2 Spitty bits at these, so it's D3 shots each. Oh, they haven't been very good. Need a drink of water so I can get the spit up. So 2 shots, needing 4s to hit. We reroll 1s because we're next to the Demon Prince. We get 2. 2s to wound because it's strength 6. So there's 2 wounds, AP -1, you need 2 saves of 6. And there's 2 guardsmen spat on. So 2 of them go. Right, we're going to do missile launches now at the Tarrox. 4s to hit, reroll 1s because of the Demon Prince. Get 1 hit, needs a 3 to wound. We'll get it. It's got a 3 plus save, I think, so let's see if you roll 5. Well, the 2's not going to cut. D6 damage. Only 2. I think it's time to command point reroll. Command point reroll. Here we go. That's a 5. Almost disappeared off the table. So 5 wounds on the Tower Rocks. That's pretty good. So let's count that. And then we've got 2 multi-melters to try and finish it off. These are at long range. So we get 2 hits. It's a good choice in the end to target this. 3s. Only 1. But it's AP -4, so no save. So D6 damage. Might we finish it off? No, only 1. So it's 6 wounds in total. So we'll finish the shooting phase. We're just about going to the charge phase, but I forgot to bring my sustained assault unit on. There's only one of them, and it's the Vox Shamblers. So on a 2+, they're going to come on. They do. And on a 6, it'll be on any board edge. They are on any board edge. Surprisingly, I don't want them to do that, but I'm going to have a look around, see what's on offer. Okay, so I did have a look around, although it was a bit out of sequence. This is what I would have always done with them. Come on 6 inches on the board edge. There's no requirement to be outside of 9 to the enemy unit, because they're just sort of, the dead rise out of the sand. So the Poxwaters have come on there. So the aim of the game is to assault the Tech Marine, because they're a troops unit who can possibly take that objective off the hands as well. Okay, so the charge phase is going to go down like this. The Demon Prince is going to charge the Lord Commissar as the primary charge, and the secondary charge is going to be at this unit here. See if we can get in deep on them. So they're going to overwatch. Okay, so these are the las guns from the squad at the back, so needing 6s. And reroll 1s. I believe it works in the overwatch phase. If not, then it doesn't. But we're just going to count it this time. And that is a whopping amount of 6s. Absolutely insane. So this guy's toughness 6. We need 6s again. Nothing. Right, you've got a plasma pistol from your sergeant. Is he going to be bald?
Yeah.
So he's overcharged it and he's hit. Well, that was pretty confident. So 3 to wound with that overcharged shot, and he doesn't. And he gets a 2. Command point reroll, and he does. Let's see if you get a command point back on a 5. This is the Ultramarines. No. And did you wound on that second one? Yes, you did. So we need to save on a invulnerable 5, which we do. Just takes it on the chest. All right, last chance is the Commissar with his plasma pistol. Will he overcharge and kill himself, or will he? He is. I suppose it actually makes sense, because he would take himself. He's killed himself. Well, that was efficient. Right. Well, I'm not sure what happens if the primary charger is killed. Okay, so with the Commissar dead, we're going to now need a 9-inch charge just to get into combat. So when I was previously talking about primary and secondary charges, that's a 7th edition hangover. That doesn't exist anymore. You just select units and you charge whatever you can at the end of it. So here we go. We're going to need a 9 on the dice to get in here. That's no good. Do we want a command point reroll? Yes, we will. We're going to live large and hope for that 5. No, failed. So he just stands there and growls at them. Right, next are the Vox Shamblers. So this is the cheekiest one of all. So he's got a pistol to overwatch with, and we're just charging the Tech Marine, and he's failed, and we charge 7 inches, 8 inches even. So we're going to go in there, and then we'll pile in as we wish when we come to fight. So the last thing to do is to charge this bloat drone in. We're going to try and fly overhead, because you can do that now again with the FAQ, thank God. And we're going to try and do something sneaky over here as well. Right, so the fetid bloat drone's going in on these. This is the overwatch shot. So he is overcharging the pistol, because he sees this is doom anyway. So ironically, the pistol hits. Reroll at 1 because of Cadian. I think it works in the overwatch phase. If it doesn't, then it doesn't, but who cares? Right, so one plasma pistol hit, 1 las gun hit. So this needs a 6, that needs a 3. Right, okay, so the las gun we're going to save on a 3. No. Disgustingly resilient. Yes. And then the overcharged plasma pistol needs a 5 on the invulnerable save. No. And then disgusting resilient for 2 damage. Save 1, fail 1. So that's a second wound. Why? Look at that. So here we go. It's going to fly in 10 inches, and we're going to go like this. Over there. And I think we can all know why. Right, so time for the fight phase. We're going to have the Galapox infected, the Vox Shamblers fight first. So we're going to pile in because we left a little gap. Like this, we're going to get within an inch of the Taurox. We're going to get within an inch of the... Actually, we'll wait there. We'll see if we kill them. I don't know. Because we might... Because we're only 3 strong, if the vehicles actually kill one of us, it's a big deal. Yes, just take the risk. We're going to pile in on both vehicles, but we are going to put all attacks on the Tech Priest. And to help us out here, we're going to use another stratagem from the Galapox Infected. It's called Corruption and Decay. Essentially, in a nutshell, we're going to have +1 to wound the Tech Priest. So we've got 2 attacks each because these are actually pretty good. And we're hitting on 4s because they're better than normal Poxwaters. So we've hit twice. Right, so we're not going to kill him, unfortunately, but we're going to need 3s to wound because we're strength 4 against his toughness 4, but we've got the Galapox stratagem, making 3s count. So just 1, it's AP -1, so he's saving on a 4, and he takes a single wound. So he's going to hang into the fight. If he can fight well, he might just stop us from taking that objective altogether. Okay, second fight over here, we're going to have the Fetid Bloodthrown fight these guardsmen. So we've got 3 attacks for the Fetid Bloodthrown. He needs 4s to hit, he gets 2. And then he's at strength 6, so he's needing 2s to wound. And he gets 2 wounds. It's AP -2, so that's just 2 straight kills. There's only 1 guy left, and it's your Sergeant. So you can start fighting back now with your stuff. Okay, Sergeant's going to fight back. He's got 2 attacks his profile and an extra weapon, so he's got 3 attacks. He's got a chainsaw, should we say, but he's missed them all. He's feeling nervous. He's feeling sad under the contagions of Nurgle. So now the big fight here. He's going to have to take down as many as he can here to stop this from working.
Omniscient Axe.
Okay, Omniscient Axe to the 4. Got 1, right. So he needs a 3 to wound. Doesn't get it. That's because you rolled a green dice, you see.
No.
Right, so now the vehicles are going to fight, so because I did pile in on them to silence them, they can fight back. So if they can do well here, they might bail this Tech Priest out. So this has got D3 attacks because it's injured state. It's only got 1, needs a 6 to hit, doesn't hit. Okay, now it's the Hellhound's turn to try and do that. So 3 attacks because it's not injured. He does get a hit, he needs a 3 to wound at strength 6, and again he rolls a green dice and gets the fate of a 2. Alright, so that is the end of the fight phase. Because these are a troop unit and they outnumber anybody on there because they're a troop, we score that objective. 3 objectives down, only 3 more to go, but the turns are winding down. If they just hold on to 1 the Imperium, 1 objective is all it takes, they will win the game. Alright, so the Sergeant had a morale check, failed it, and ran away because he lost nearly all of his squad there. Poor bloke. So the Bloodthrown is now free to fly. It would have been anyway because it's got the fly keyword, but it can now add charge into its resume in the next turn. Right, it is Imperium turn 4, so the game is winding down. They just have to make a good defence on these last 3 objectives. So just to recap where the last 3 objectives are, we've got one here, and then the third is in this building right there. So they're trying to, I think these 2 are the ones that they're going to try and defend. So the intercessors with the 2 characters, they're going to stay up top here, try and deny the Nurgle stuff from coming up top. So they're going to put down a hail of shots coming down there. And then the last defence of the Cadians, they've moved to the left, or the Vigilus Guard. They've moved to the left to try and block the Poxwaters from getting to this objective. They're going to try and cut them off. The company commander's probably going to give them an order. And then the 2 vehicles here, they've peeled off the combat that the Vox Shamblers, when they piled in, blocked them. So they've moved away. It's a bit silly rules, but that's the way the game works anyway. Came away from the combat, but they'll not be able to do anything because they've peeled off that combat. And then up here, just to reshuffle. So all Scions to the wall, going to try and shoot down on this invading Poxwater force underneath. And then the Lieutenant is just staying vigilant, looking after his objective. Right, Psychic Phase for the Imperium. So before the Psychic Phase kicks off, we've played another special Gallopok stratagem. It is Insane Gibberings just there. Basically, you play at the start of the Psychic Phase, 1 command point, and they'll have to -1 off any Psychic tests. So things get a little bit harder. So what's he going to try and do first, this Psychic?
Okay, so play Psychic Scourge. He's going to play that on your...
On the Hull Breakers.
Guys, the Hull Breakers.
Okay.
You'll need a 7 to get this, because normally it's a 6.
Okay, normally 6, needs a 7 because of that Fulgur.
Completely duffed that one.
He's duffed it. That was his ace in the hole.
And then he's going to play Might of Heroes.
Might of Heroes.
On the Dread. Needing a 7 again.
Okay, for the same reasons. Does get this one off though. So the Dreadnought is back to toughness 8, an extra attack and 1 strength. Right, we're launching straight into the shooting phase, and the Vigilus Guard, first rank fire ordered on them, have all fired into the zombies. We're just trying to speed this up now. So there's been 6 wounds put on them through a crack grenade, and then the extra 7th wound was put on them by the company commandery through a frag grenade in as well. So 7 we need to save on the Poxwaters. They don't normally have an armour save, but because we're within 7 of the Myphitic Blight Haulers, they treat as if they're in cover. So we're going to get saved to 6 first and foremost, which was save 2. That was pretty good. And then we've got our Disgusting Resilient rolls of 5, which we make 1. So 4 zombies lasgunned. And so keeping on with the shooting phase, the Redemptor Dread will now fire. So he's going to do all of these meaty guns at the Hull Breakers, and the Stormbolters are going to pick off the surrounding Curse Mites just to clear the way for a future charge. So he's going to do the Stormbolters first. So he's got 8 shots here, and he's hitting on 3s. He's got all but 2, and then 2's to wound because these are only toughness 2. These little weakling, little sacks of blood. And that's going to be 6 wounds. I can't remember if these have got a save or not. I'm just going to check. So the Curse Mites do have a save. It's a 6 to save. Okay, 2 save, but 4, and the unit's only 4 strong, so they're dead. They don't have Disgustingly Resilient, though. None of the little Gribblies do. Okay, now he's firing the Onslaught Cannons, both of them, so that's 18 shots at the Hull Breakers. So he's needing 4s to hit because he's moved out of cover. And he's needing 4s to wound on all those dice. It's Strength 5 versus Toughness 5. That's pretty bad. Only 1. So we're going to get Disgustingly Resilient against this. And a 5. Okay, I've got another 4 more to do. Because that wasn't just 1. Because I was talking about 5s, I was looking for 5s on the dice. It's 4s needed. So he got an extra 4 there, of course. That was just my mind getting reduced to paste. So there's 4 wounds on the Hull Breakers. So 4 wounds is a Hull Breaker dead. They've only got 4 wounds each. So now it's the Rocket Pod for D3 shots. Gets 2. Needs 5s to hit because he moved with a heavy weapon. And it's hard to hit. So the other one I'm told is a 3. So just 1 hit. Strength 7 needs a 3 to wound. And he gets it. So we need Disgusting Resilient at 5. We don't get it. There's another wound. Alright, up next is the Intercessors. They're going to fire down into the street onto the Hull Breakers. And he's played Signs of Guilliman to help him out here. So he's going to get full rerolls. And he's in rapid fire range. So 3s to hit against the Hull Breakers. And reroll all failed hit rolls because of that nice stratagem. And he's got all hits. It's worth saying that he didn't get the command point back for using that stratagem either. So he's needing 5s to wound this time, definitely. Okay, so there's 3. So at AP -1, effectively AP -2 up a height, but they don't have an armor save anyway against that gun. So how many was that, did we say?
3.
3, okay, so this could kill a Hullbreaker. One of them's got 3 wounds left if we don't get our disgustingly resilient. So there's 1 left with 1 wound. Sorry, there's 2 left, and one of them's got 1 wound, should I say. Alright, the Hullbreaker, one of them's got 1 wound left, so the Apothecary, not liking the monstrosities in the street, just draws his Absolver pistol. He's going to try and blow his head smooth off, right? So he hits on a 3, and he rolls a 1 after a big build-up. Just didn't like it. Try now, he's got a bolt pistol. Needs a 3 to hit. It's not as good as a Absolver bolt pistol, but doesn't matter how good your gun is or how bad it is. If you can't hit, you can't hit. Right, over here in combat, the Tech Priest, he's going to try and shoot his last pistol in combat. Everyone he kills could be good. So he does hit, needs a 4 to wound. Sorry, a 5 to wound, but he gets the wound anyway. And then we've got an invulnerable 5 to save, which you don't. And then we've got disgustingly resilient, which we make. These Vox Shamblers, MVP so far. Okay, so the units in this building are going to fire now. So the Scions are going to fire all the shots at the Poxwaters, except as a plasma pistol is going to overcharge it and fire it at the fetid blood drone. And then the Lieutenant's going to try and throw a crack grenade into its turbine as well and see if it can go down. It's got a lot of wounds left, so I'm going to wish them luck. So the Lieutenant, he's going to throw his grenade first. It's a crack grenade, see if it lodges in the propellers. That fell off the table, so we'll try again. And it's a 6 on the edge of the world there. So it's strength 6 against toughness 7, you're going to need a 5. Doesn't do it. Crack grenade just hits him, but not in the right place. So now we've got might as well keep on with it. So the plasma pistol, he is overcharged and he's not going to stop now. Now he's killed all of his plasma. Right. So it hits on a 3.
I changed the habit of a game time.
And he's killed himself. So like you said, why change the habit of just blowing your own face off? Definitely don't want to be corrupted by Nurgle, so they're just taking the easy way out, I think. Alright, so it's not a good day to be a plasma wheel.
So I've now lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plasma gunners to their own. Plasma guns.
6 plasma gunners, just... Well, you are in the Garden of Nurgle. It's all weaponry is corrupted and rebelling in your hands. So, right, we've got Flamer to fire here. So he's going to get 3 shots out of his Flamer. Just dousing these zombies. And he gets 3, so we've got our disgustingly resilient against this. And we don't save any, so we've lost 3. We'll dig them out in a second after we've taken all the casualties. So it's 3 so far, and then we've got 4 hotshot las guns right firing down into the cold, stinking bodies. So he's hit on 3s, and then the wound on 4s. 3. Right, so we need to save disgusting resilience rolls, which we get 1. So in the end, we've lost our 3 originals and then 2 more, so 5 Poxwaters go down. Okay, we've launched straight into the charge phase because none of the charging victims have guns, so and everyone's an inch away anyway. So the Dreadnought goes in. He's gone in against the Hullbreakers and the Eye Stinger Swarms. He's stopped outside of 3 inches, so Vulgarar can't heroically intervene. So he's just going to fight the Hullbreakers and also tie the Eye Stinger Swarms in. And then the other charge was this brave unit of guardsmen have gone in on the Poxwaters, including the company captain. He's gone in. So he's going to rally his men, try and cut down these zombies. Okay, so we're going to do this fight first. So the guardsmen are going to strike just in case the forces of Nurgle decide to jump the queue.
We're going with a growl.
Yeah, so 9 attacks, hitting on 4s. And good amount of hits there. So 4s to wound. That is good.
Beauties.
They've got their zombie killing shoes on today. So 5 wounds, saving on disgusting resilient. 5, so no 4 zombies get beheaded. That's how you kill zombies. Alright, so that's complete, and now the company commander, he piles in, and now he's going to get his power sword into the action. So he's got 3 attacks, and he hits on 3, so he's got 2 hits, and then 4s to wound. He gets 2.
Well done, you man.
So disgustingly resilient again. We make 1, fail 1. Right, it's time for the Redemptor Dread now. So because of Wisdom of the Ancients, he's got 5 attacks. And at the start of the phase, he played
Might of Heroes.
You play Might of Heroes for the Ciphers, and Wisdom of the Ancients is the reroll ones, isn't it? Got them wrong way around. Anyway, he's rerolling ones and he's got 5 attacks. Let's see if he gets that command point back. It is a 5. So on those mystery dice, you can't tell unless you get a magnifying glass out. So anyway, he's got 5 attacks and he's going after the Hull Breakers, of course. So hits on 3s and he rerolls 1s because of Wisdom of the Ancients. Still a 1. Wasted command point in the end. Always painful. So 2s to wound against the toughness 5 Hull Breakers because they're just not that tough when it comes to a Redemptor Power Fist. And 3 wounds there. Okay, so 3 wounds go through and there's no save, so it's just going to be d6 damage each time. So the first blow is going to be 3 damage, the second blow will be 5, and the third and final will be 1. Okay, so one of them's got 1 wound left, so he's going to need to save against these. And he saves 1, fails 2, but he's dead now. And now there's a lot of saves on the remaining Hullbreaker. So that's gone, and we might as well group these all in together. So that's 6 wounds against the final Hullbreaker, the Screamer I think he's called because he's the leader. And he's utterly destroyed because he's only got 4 wounds. That's 5 wounds put on him. He's squished. Okay, so the Redemptor chooses not to pile in. He did have the option to pile into Vulgarar, but he doesn't want to lock him down, doesn't want to take the blows. It's unnecessary. Feels like just blocking the road is good enough. So he is in contact with the Ice Stinger Swarm, so we'll just pile into him near as we can, and then we'll fight. So I'll not bother moving them because I'm miles away at the moment. So Ice Stinger Swarms, these are pretty strange. They have D3 attacks each, so I've got 4 D3 attacks. So we've got 3, 5, 7, 8 attacks. And we hit on 4s because they target the vulnerable areas. So it's called Ice Stinger Swarms for a reason. So he has got a vision slit, so I wonder if they're attacking that. So they're hitting on 4s, and because they're within 6 inches of Vulgarar, they get to reroll 1s. Okay, no extras there. Right, so there's 3 hits and a 6. Because we rolled a 6, it's an automatic wound, so don't even need to try and wound with that. But these need a 6 to wound. What was that? It's gone. No, that's a 5. Okay, so nothing extra there except this wound. So you just need to save on a basic armor save for the Dread on a 3. And he makes it. Okay, we're coming over here. I almost forgot about this combat. This one should have been fought before the Ice Stinger Swarms, but it's not going to affect the game in any way. So he's going to fight. He's got 2 attacks, hits on 4s with his Omniscient Axe. And he hits once, so he needs a 5 to wound, 3 to wound because it's strength 5. And no. So we're going to fight back over here first because we're standing here. So these hit on 4s against the Tech Priest, and we get 4 hits. And these are strength 4 as well, so we're needing 4s to wound. So we get 2, and it's AP -1 with these corrupted digital weapons. So he's saving on 4s because he's got good armor save. So he takes a 2nd wound. Okay, we're going to have this combat now. So we've got 6 Poxwalkers going to fight. Because we haven't got the magic number of 10, we're going to be hitting on 5s now. So still got a good amount of attacks, but that wasn't great. Only 2 hits, and then 4s to wound, which we get none. Okay, and that is it for the Imperial's turn 4. So they feel pretty good about that, holding down some units, but the Death Guard have got some tricks up the sleeve.
Well,
okay, Death Guard turn 4. Big developments now, so we'll start on the right here. So the Death Guard get out of the Rhino. They're going to try and take the fight to this lieutenant up top, and the Rhino's moved on 12. It's going to try and ram some vehicle in the side. The David Prince step forward. He's going to probably take on a vehicle. He's given his aura to the Plague Marines, to the Blight Haulers, up here as well. The Blood Drone's flown up the top, and he's going to take on the Scions. And then we've still got 4 Poxwalkers underneath. We're going to try and join in the fight on some sort of charge from out the shadows, see if we can wrestle that objective away. The Blight Haulers, they go around. They're going to try and take on this Dreadnought, and then the Lord of Contagion, he goes 4. He's ever so slow. And he's going to try and go for a long charge. Now, the reason why we're going to fire the Dreadnought is because the Ice Stinger Swarms that he's in combat with have the fly keyword and have just flown 10 inches all the way up to this objective, which is unguarded because he just didn't see that coming. And that's going to now give this objective to the forces of Nurgle. So a surprise from the Gribblies that are totally unfamiliar. Okay, and then still in the street, all the last remaining Gribblies are going to go up and try and tangle with the Dreadnought. And then Vulgar Eye stepped round to the wall here. He's going to try and charge up at something if he can get a long enough charge. Okay, and we've still got our sustained assault rolls to do. So, got 2 units that have been destroyed, and the not troop units, so these are going to have to come back on a 4 if we can. So the Curse Mites on a 4, they do not turn up. The Hull Breakers, they need a 4 as well. So the Hull Breakers do come back. It's going to be my own board edge unless I can roll a 6. So if I roll a 6 here, that'll be really bad for the forces of the Imperium. No, it's the other end of the spectrum. It's a 1, so they're just going to come on from the board edge. They'll probably play no part in the game, as the game is just in its final stages now. The battle is winding down, but the fight continues and rages on in the Imperium's half. And we're choosing to bring on the Hull Breakers on this side of the board. So 6 inches, so they've got a long distance to cover to try and get into the battle. So it's probably too late for them. Okay, so we'll start here for comedic value. Vulgar is going to fire his belly flamer up top onto the intercessor. So it's basically a flamer, and we're getting 3 shots. So it's automatic hit, so needing 4s to wound, which we get 1. So because you're in hard cover there, you're going to save on a 2. Which you do. Right, now the big guns, we're going to have all of the guns from the My Fitted Blightholders fire at the Redemptor Dread. So the 2 multi-melters first. We got 1 hit, and that one goes into the building somewhere.
It's a 5.
It's a 5?
Yeah.
It is a 5. I do believe you, but I just wanted to see it because it's glorious. Because that means 2 hits. So 3s to wound on the Dread. We get 1, and we're going to command point reroll this one because we've only got 1 command point left now after we've used that. So 2 wounds. Right, we're going to have to stop right there because there's no damage done on the Dreadnought at all because we've just remembered that he's still got Might of Heroes in play. So with actually toughness 8, we rolled 2 3s to wound. We needed 4s, so the multi-melters have done nothing. So we're going to have to rely on the missile launchers now. So 4s to hit with the missiles. They both hit, and these are needing 4s to wound. Now that I remembered that the Dreadnought is toughness 8, and what do we get? A double 6. So there's 2 saves that need to be made for this Redemptor Dreadnought, and it's AP -2, so 5s to save. And he fails both, so that's D6 damage each. And we get a 7. So 7 wounds. And in all the excitement, we're just going to stop the shooting phase there. I forgot to do the psychic phase with the Demon Prince, so he's just going to smite the commander there. So it comes off on a 5, but the Librarian is within 24, so you can't deny it if he gets a 6. And he denies it, so he deserved to get that one because I forgot about it. So that's often what happens when you do rules retrospectively. So totally deserved that not to come off. So anyway, back on with the Myphitic Blightholders. We're going to fire the Bile Spurt, so it's D3 each, and there's 4 shots. So this is not that devastating, it's only strength 6, and we're needing 4s to hit, which we get all hits. They can hit very well. It's a shame those multi-melters didn't do the trick. So 6, we're needing 5s to wound. It's a plague weapon, so it can reroll 1s. We don't get anything. Right, Plague Spear from the Demon Prince onto the Hellhound. He's going to get 6 shots. This is strength 5. It's a plague weapon, so it can reroll 1s. And we get 3 wounds in total, which the Hellhound is going to have to save on 4s. Fails 2, so he's got 7 wounds left, this Hellhound. Right, next up we're going to fire the Death Guard into the Chimera. So we are within 6 of the Demon Prince, so we can reroll 1s, and we've got the Melter Gun right at the front within 12 inches, so we're going to try and take it out with a choice shot here. We've hit, at least, and we need a 3 to wound because it's toughness 7. We don't get it. Okay, we've got the rest of the shots now, so we've got 4 bolt guns and a plasma gun. Rapid firing at 18 inches because that's the Death Guard's rule. So we've got the plasmas in yellow. Not overcharging with the plasma, by the way. do not want to kill ourselves. So they all hit just about. And then 5s and 4s on the yellow. Okay, that's not too bad in the end. So there's a 6 to save on the yellow dice, and then 3s to save on the others. So it's another wound, so it's down to 6 wounds left, and then 2 more armor saves, and it's down to 5 wounds left now. Right, the Rhino, he's got a combi plasma, so he's going to rapid fire into the Hellhound as well. Rerolls 1s, because they're doing prints. Of course, we're not overcharging because you'd lose your entire Rhino. So 4s to wound. 1 wound, saving on a 6. No, it's got 4 wounds left, the Hellhound. Right, the Fetid Blood Drone is going to try and sludge these Scions. So we've got 2 D6 shots, that's 6. And 2s to wound because they're automatically hit, because they're flamer type weapons. And real 1s because it's a plague weapon. So 6 wounds, and it's AP -1. We are going to class you as in hard cover there because you are on and within terrain. So you would be saving on 4 plus 2 -1. So you save on 3s on 6 dice. And that is an absolutely terrible roll. Only 1 pass, 5 perish. And what that makes that even worse is the fact there's only 5 in the unit, so they've all been killed. That is the worst outcome that could possibly ever happen. Okay, so it's time for charges. The Rhino is going to set off first. He's going to charge the Hellhound. So we've measured the range, it's 7 inches, so we're going to need 6 on the dice, but not before we're Overwatch. Because they're going to need 5s to wound, and it's AP -1, we're going to do all flamer weapons together. So 3d6 shots, going to automatically hit the Rhino. It's not a good day, it's a 7, that's a sign. It's a sign from the garden, the new Garden of Nurgle that we're creating here. 5s to wound, only 2 in the end, so we're going to have to save on 4s with the Rhino. Fail both, so 2 wounds on the Rhino, that's not an issue really. And then we're needing a 6 on the dice to get in. And we get a 7. Again, the number of the Nurgle. Alright, so then the Demon Prince, he declared a charge against the commander, the unit, and the Hellhound, since no one can Overwatch. Only got a short charge in the end, so he's gone in on the commander. I'm sure we'll pile in to get it onto something a bit more worthy. But this is the biggest one. So we've got a Plague Marine down here. It needs a 5 inches to get up, to get within that inch bubble of the Lieutenant. This is crucial because this is going to put this objective at risk for the Imperium. So we'll need a 5 on the dice just to get up there. And that is terrible. We're going to have to use our last command point to make this happen. If we don't get it, this is big. We do, it's a 6 plus 2 is 8. We're going to get up there and get that objective. So on an 8, the Death Guard get to go in like that, so we've piled up and around the wall, clambered up the wall and got as many people in we can. There's only one that's not going to be able to fight there, and of course we are on that objective. So unless this Primus Lieutenant does well and just size down half of them, have a bad morale check, that objective should be within our grasp. Okay, so we're going to charge in on the Redemptor Dreadnought over here. We're going to have the Glitchlings going first because they've got an invulnerable save. So it's a withering amount of Overwatch. You're going to have these little soft green critters go through. And 6s to hit. This is the Onslaught array, both weapons. So yeah, there's 3 hits, and you're needing 2s to wound because they're only toughness.
Oh,
Only 1. All right, we're getting invulnerable 5 against this. Good luck, Glitchling. And he saves. Right, still more to come. 8 shots from the Storm Bolters in his chest. Right, here come the Storm Bolters. 6s. That's better. 2. And then 2s to wound. Gets 2 wounds. Right, we're saving on invulnerable 5s again. Good luck, Glitching. Worked the last time. Yes! Well, I'll tell you what. Nurgle has blessed us today. Well, in this turn, especially. Right, last thing to fire is the Icarus Rocket Pod. Just 1 shot, needs a 6. He does get it. Needs a wound on a 2. Gets it. Saves on invulnerable 5. Glitchling. No. It's only damage 1, so we can get our disgustingly resilient against this. No, alright, we'll lose 1.
so I'm disappointed.
I am, because they did so well to get through that. Right, the Lord of Contagion, around the wall there, he's going to try a charge at the Redemptor, and he's got a long way to go to 9 inches. He's going to need on the dice. And he fails. Good effort, though. Okay, another long charge on the cards here. We're going to have Vulgarar. He's going to try and get in and up behind the apothecary. So he's going to go through the building and up. He's going to need a 9 inches, 9 on the dice to do it. That's a 4.
It's
and that's
very
a 6.
good.
And that's a 10, so he gets more than enough. So he goes up and around. So he's going to fight just the apothecary. But of course the apothecary can shoot him on the way in. Oh no, he couldn't, because he couldn't see him from his starting position. Okay then, so he gets in behind, just like a monster film. He's behind you. Okay, we're going to start the assault phase with the Death Guard Plague Marines up here. So we don't necessarily need to take them out, but that would be fine if we did. So we'll start with a power fist, see if we can just punch him in the back of the head. 2 attacks, and we've missed with both because he's -1, which is expected when you're wielding a power fist. And then 6 attacks. No, sorry, we've only got 5 attacks because he's not fighting, because he's too far away. So we get that many hits, and then we'll go Death of the False Emperor in there, which we miss with. Then we'll wound on 4s with our Plague Knives, and we'll reroll 1s because it's Plague Weapon. So we get 3 wounds on the Primaris Lieutenant, and he's going to need to save on 3s. And he makes them all, so he's going to survive. So that was pretty expected because Death Guard are not very good in combat, but it's about if that Lieutenant can cut them all down, that would be a big blow if that happens. Right, we're going to move on to this fight up here. So we've got Vulgarar, he's going to fight the Apothecary, so he's got 4 attacks to try and do this with. He hits on 3s and he can reroll 1s because he's... Oh, well, he's not that good, should I say, because he missed with it.
He's exhausted after that climb up the building.
Alright, so he's strength 6, so we need 3s to wound. And he only gets a single wound, so you need to save on a 5, but AP -2. And he fails it, so that's 2 damage on his brow. Okay, so the Demon Prince will now fight. So he's piled in and he's touching all 3 units that he charged. So we're going to do it like this. We're going to have 1 attack on the Commander, 2 attacks with the damage 3, sword, Hellforge Sword on the Hellhound, and then 2 attacks on the basic Marine. So the 1 on the Company Commander, we do hit, and we need 2 wound, which we get, and he needs an invulnerable 5. He's got 1 wound left, and he's dead. Okay, so the Commander is down. Right, now we'll do the 2 on the basic guys. 2 hits, and 2's the wound. 2 wounds, so there's 2 killed, just outright. And then it's on the Hellhound. We'll just pick those up in a second. So on the Hellhound, we'll get a reroll 1s, so we've hit once, we've hit twice because we hit on 2s. Alright, this is strength 7, so we're needing 4s to wound. We get 1, and this is damage 3, so you need to save on a 5, which you do not. So this Hellhound's on its last wound. We're flirting with it exploding there. That was dangerous stuff. Okay, so now it's up to the Rhino to take the last wound of this Hellhound, so we need 6s to hit. We get none, but we can reroll 1s because of the Demon Prince, in fact. No, missed them all. And the last charges to fight are the Glitchlings and the Sludge Grubs. We've already attacked because they're just pitiful attacks and they didn't do anything against the Dreadnought, of course. Alright, we had the Zombies fight next. We've seen them fight before, so we just did it off camera. So they've done 3 wounds onto the Infantry Guardsmen, so they're going to need 3 saves or 5. Okay, so there's filled 1, which means we've got a zombie back in the unit because one of them is bitten. Instantly turns. Right, we're coming over here, so the Imperium are going to fight back. Omniscient Axe is going to attack twice. Okay. And he's missed. Right, the Vox Shamblers are going to fight back. Needing 4s. Right, we get 3. 4s to wound. We get 2. It's AP -1, so you need 2. Oh, he's dead. He's failed twice, and he's already taken 2 wounds. The Tech Marine finally drops.
Most useless man in the universe.
Well, he did almost bring this Hellhound back up to full strength after that sickening bombardment at the start of the game, but a bit of a slouch in combat there.
Thereafter.
Yeah, bit of a disgrace in combat. Right, on to the really exciting fight now. So the Lieutenant, he's got 4 attacks. He's going to fight these Death Guard up top. He needs to do well. So he hits on 2s, 4 attacks, and he gets all 4. And then he needs 5s to wound. And he rerolls 1s because he's a Lieutenant. But he's fluffed every single one. Not good. Right, we're going to fight with the Dread now. So we're going to film this because it's got a bit of interest. Because he's locked in there with 3 Glitchlings and 2 Sludge Grubs. But he's damaged. So he's hitting on 4s. And the glitchlings have a special rule where they make your weapon glitch, so you're at -1 to hit them with everything. So he's aiming 3 attacks at the glitchlings and 2 attacks at the sludge grubs because he's still got that psychic power in effect. So he's going to need 5s on the blue, 4 on the yellow. And it's a very good roll. So only 1 misses in the end. So every dice needs a 2, so keep those as they are coded. So 1 glitchling takes a hit and another glitchling takes the wound. And then these need 2 wounds. There's no saving these sludge grubs. Okay, so that's only 1 sludge grub dead in the end, actually. And then the glitchlings need to take these 2 wounds. I don't know why they were rolled. So we still got an invulnerable 5 save against this whopping fist, but we've failed. And we don't get any disgustingly resilient because it's more than damage 1. And this fight in the middle for the guardsman didn't do anything. Got all the hits but didn't get any wounds. The apothecary is going to fight for his life against this monstrosity, so he's got 3 attacks. He's hit on 3s. And he gets them all, and then he needs 5s to wound because he's pretty tough, Vulgar. Gets 2. Right, we've got invulnerable 5 save to make on both of them, which we make. So it's a standoff at the top. Okay, so morale check time. The sludge grub doesn't take any morale checks because he's leadership 8, only lost 1 in that turn. The glitchling does though, he lost 2 of his brethren. 2 plus 5 is 7, and they are leadership 7, so he does hang on in there, the last surviving glitchling. Right, the guardsman lost 3, so let's see what their morale check looks like. Ooh, that's a 9, only leadership 7, so 2 more run away from the fight and get hacked down by the Demon Prince probably. Okay, that is the end of turn 4 for the Death Guard. It's looking very good. Got the Imperium on the run now, only 1 objective left to go because we've got more, well, we have troops on that objective, so we outnumber that, and objective secured trumps that 1 lieutenant. So just the 1 objective left to go. We've dominated the areas. We've got really lucky getting these in the back area and just holding everything up. Had a really crucial turn when he held those 2 vehicles up. Hellhound still held up. This is now free to fire, but it's damaged. And then there's a problem here for the Ultramarines. They're still holding this objective because they have got troops on this objective, and Vulgar is a HQ, so he's not going to be able to take that from them. So it's now the last defense of this last objective in this building. So the problem is for the Death Guard is there's a long way to go to try and outnumber the Ultramarines to get there. So can the Ultramarines just beat them back? Because the Demon Prince can't get up into buildings, so he's not a problem. The vehicles can't. The Poxwater's probably too slow, and the Ultramarines are a bit too brutal to let them survive. So who can get to that objective in time? Okay, Imperium turn 5. It's getting really close now. Not much movement going on because there's not many units left. So this is just going to stay in combat because he's just going to hope that he explodes and do mortal wounds all around. This stays still, so this can fire now. It's hitting on 4s. It's only got 4 wounds left, but it can still contribute some fire. The Dreadnought has stepped out of combat with the Gribblies over there. So he stepped back, and he's still an Ultramarines Dreadnought, so he can shoot, but because he's degraded and he's moving with a heavy weapon and he's Ultramarines with a -1 to shoot if you've left combat, falling out, lots of explanation. At the end of the day, it just means he's hitting on 6s with these heavy guns. Alright, and then up here just to reshuffle, the Librarian is getting himself in position to deal with this monstrosity that's invading his space, and the Intercessors are just going to try and hold back the tide of Death Guard stuff on the other side of the building. Right, so it's the psychic phase. Jupiterus, the Librarian, he's going to try and call on the powers of the warp to help him out here. So what's he going to do?
Yeah, it's going to do Might of Heroes on himself.
Okay, he's going to step into combat here, and he's failed miserably. The influence and the winds of Nurgle are just taking over here.
He's going to have to reroll his command point reroll.
Command point reroll is down to his last command point now.
Gets it.
Okay, so that comes off. Do you get your command point back on 5? No. So he's down to his last command point, but he is buffed up. So he's got 1 sighted power left to do. We imagine it's going to be smite.
It is.
So he's going to try and smite him at close range. He's got his arm stretched out, ready to just unleash the power of the warp on him. So that's a 6 and that's a 3. So it's not a super smite, but it was very close. So that's D3 mortal wounds coming his way. What are we looking at? it's the full complement of 3. Right, so we've got disgustingly resilient rolls, and he fails 2. 2 wounds on the Plague Hulk thing. Okay, we're going to continue over here. We're going to open up the shooting phase. The apothecary's in combat, and he's going to give him both pistols. He's got 2 of them. So he's going to do his reductor first, which is his special medic needle that he's going to plunge in. No, he's missed. Needed a 3 to hit. And then he's got his absorbable pistol. He's going to try that one. He does hit, strength 5, so you need a 4 to wound. Gets that wound, right. Invulnerable 5 save. Don't do it. Then disgustingly resilient. We don't make it, right. So we've got 2 wounds left on Volgarar. Right, so we had a few more pistols. The plasma pistol in combat there hit, but didn't wound. And the pistol over here with the lieutenant didn't hit either, so the pistol's not working in combat. But it's time for the Tower Rocks. He's going to fire into the Vox Chamberlains. So autocannons first. 4 shots, hits on 4s, so he's got 2 because it is damage, that's why he's hitting on 4s. And 3s to wound because he's a strength, toughness 4. So 1 wound, need to save an invulnerable 5. Don't get it, and then disgustingly resilient for 2 damage. No, we've lost Vox Shambler, one of the MVPs. And then the rockets, so you fire in the frag, so the dispersion shot. So that's 2d6 shots. So he's only getting 3 shots, strength 4. Needing 4s, and he gets 2, and then needing 4s to wound. And gets 1 in the end, so invulnerable 5. Don't do it. Disgustingly resilient. We do get it. We live on. Alright, we had more shots coming in on the Gallowpox infected. So we had 4 bolt rifles firing at the Eye Stinger swarms. They're at a -1 to hit because they're really small and fly around. That's their rule. Only 2 hits and 1 wound. Lost 1. So we've still got 2 left, and the librarian shot 1 out as well. So only 2 left in that swarm. And then down here, the 5th guy with the bolt rifle fired at that slug. So a high-powered shot kills a slug. Okay, finishing off the shooting phase with the Dreadnought. He's trying to weigh up the threat and what's going to get in there soon. There's stuff in the middle, of course, that he can fire at, but it's pretty hard, but none of it's going to threaten the objective, like the fast-moving stuff. So he's trying to take out the fast-moving threats. So he's aimed all of his shots up at the fetid bloat drone, but didn't get anything because he's hitting on 6s, because he's so damaged and he's moved out of combat and whatnot. So he's just setting up camp there in the doorway, and we're down to our last glitchling in the centre. So all the other grubs have gone. Just the glitchling and the Irot swarms on that level just up there remain. So the Gallowpox infected have been doing such a good job. Right, and the leader of the Gallowpox infected, Volgarar, he's now going to come under major attack. So everything's charged him, the intercessors, librarian, all closing in on him now. So we almost forgot the apothecary is going to try and heal himself. D3. So he heals himself 2, he's back up to full standard. It's good for him. But got a feeling he's only got 2 wounds left, Volgarar, and the librarian is absolutely furious with what he sees. Right, so the librarian is going to try and plunge that force sword into the back of this monstrosity. He's got 5 attacks because of his psychic power, and he's at strength 5 with an extra attack, extra strength, extra toughness. Here he goes, 3s to hit. And that is a whopping 2 attacks, 2 hits. He's got 1 command point left. I don't think he dares reroll them, because he's going to need 4s to wound now, because he's toughness 5 Volgarar against the librarian's buffed strength 5. And he does convert them though. It's D3 damage apiece, that force sword, so we might see this done. And we save 1 on our invulnerable 5, and then we need the damage result for that one that goes through. So D3 damage. It's 2. This could kill him if we don't get any disgustingly resilient. We get 1, fail 1. He's on his last wound, but there's a lot of intercessors now to try and club him to death. Alright, it's the intercessor's turn now, so all of them except 1 are going to fight, and the sergeant, he's got a gladius tucked away on his belt somewhere, secretly. So he's classed as having a chainsaw because it's free, and that makes sense. So he's got 4 attacks alone, then 2 attacks each. So all these attacks coming at Volgarar, 3s to hit. So they hit, just 1 miss. So you just want to gather those up, and now you need 5s. This is the hard part, and he only gets 1. But he's only got 1 wound left, so let's see if it counts. He's failed his save because he's got an invulnerable 5. Now he needs that disgustingly resilient, which he makes.
It always turns up, doesn't it?
Excellent. Okay, so he's running the gambit of all sorts of Imperial weaponry. He's been smited, stabbed with a force sword, clubbed to death with the butts of rifles. Ultramarines have one last chance to bring this Hulk down. The Apothecary, because we're on to static fights now, so the Apothecary will attack with 3 attacks. Last chance to take him down before he gets a strike back. So 2 hits, 5s to wound. And he's failed the wound, so Vulgarar will be able to wield that rusty claw of his and try and carve someone a new one. Alright, so it's the Death Guard's turn to trigger someone, so we're going to trigger the Death Guard unit here. So again, Power Fist, bring it on home. Force to hit. We get 1 hit. It doesn't count as death to the False Emperor because we're at a -1, unfortunately. So 2s to wound. We do get the wound, so you need to save on a 6. And he fails to do it, so D3 damage. 2. Right, Plague Knives now, so we've got them all fighting now after the consolidations of last turn and stuff. And piles in, so we've got 6 fighting this time, and no death for False Emperors. We get 1 miss, so need 4s to wound. Reroll 1s because of Plague Weapon, and we get 4. So 4 wounds. He's got 3 wounds left. Can he save well, or will he roll another stinger in the build? It's half a stinger. He's got 1 wound left, and he's fighting for his life. Right, Guardsmen in the centre, 4 attacks coming from them onto the Poxwaters, and 2 hits, needing 4s to wound. Nothing. Right, 7 Poxwaters attacking back, needing 5s because we're still not up to strength yet to hit any better. So we'll get 2 1s there, which we can reroll because the Demon Prince is on hand, and we get all of them. So 6, needing 4s, with which we get 3. So 3 saves of 5. This could clear out the unit. And they're all dead now, and we get 2 additional zombies come back to us. Alright, back over here, the Lieutenant is going to try and fight his way out, so he's got 4 attacks. And he's missed with every single one, except, I don't know, he does have a weapon skill of 2, so he's hit with 1, it's just his ballistic skill isn't as good. And he doesn't wound though, because he needs a 5 with that power sword against such a tough opposition. Right, we're going to see if the Demon Prince can finish off this Chimera, so we're just going to do all the attacks at once, because it's only got 1 wound left, so it doesn't matter which limb of him is fighting. So he gets all these hits, he gets the Death of the False Emperor just to make sure of it, and needs strength 7, 4s to wound. Ooh, won't get 1 in the end, it was just as well with generated those. So you need to save on a 5, if not, that might explode. So he doesn't save, now Hellhounds explode on a 4+. So, see if he goes out fighting, sabotages the tanks, and he does. Boom. Okay, so the Hellhound's going to explode, so it's D3 mortal wounds in a 6-inch radius, so we'll start going clockwise with these. So D3 wounds for the zombies, so 2 for them, and D3 for the Myphitic Blight Hoarders, so just 1 for them. For the Demon Prince, 2 for him. The Rhino, just the 1. The Vox Shamblers, 2 for them. Sorry, 1 for them. No, it was a 2. 2, yeah. Getting cross-eyed now. And then the Taurox, D3 for him. So 2 for the Taurox. So the Taurox is down to 2 wounds left. And then we've got a series of Disgusting Resilience. So 2 Disgusting Resilience for these. So we lose a Poxwalker. It's not just a Poxwalker, he's a Vox Shambler. So that just takes a wound, that doesn't have a Disgusting Resilient. The Warlord, he has a Disgusting Resilient of 4. So he takes a single wound. These, on 5s, they take a single wound. So it's down to 6 wounds left on that one. And then now the Poxwaters. 2 die. So the 2 that we got back of killing those guardsmen, instantly slain in the blast. Okay, Vulgarar, we saved him till last. He's now going to fight, and he's going to fight the Intercessors because they're the troops. They're the ones who can hold our objective. So he's got 4 attacks, hits on 3s. He gets a reroll 1s for himself. It's looking good so far. It's looking good. 3s to wound. And 2 wounds in the end. It's AP minus 2 and 2 damage each, so you need to save 2 on 5s. And that's a fail, and that's a fail. So 2 intercessors dead with 2 damage each. Okay, it's Death Guard turn 5. It's extremely touch and go now. So at the start of every turn, if you've got any casualties on your eye stinger swarms, you can regain 1. So we're back to 3 strong. They've flown from here to here, so they're not a troop unit, so they can't override the intercessors. But Vulgar are still alive, and if we can kill the intercessors, there might be something on here in this dying stage of the turn. The Dreadnought, he's now going to come under attack from the massing forces in the street. So the Mythic Blyhaulers are still harassing him, following him around. The Lord of Contagions are going to hunt him down, going to try a long charge again. The Poxswatters, they advanced. Demon Prince, he's got to the corner, he might charge him as well. And this Rhino is pulled around here. It's going to try and assault, shoot with these plasma gun first. This advanced from the roof over there. It's going to try and burn this out. It's only got 2 wounds left, so this might be gone. And of course the fight on the roof still continues. And as we can see just there's the last remaining Glitchling. He's going to try and run into combat, because he is a troops unit. If he can get there, he might contribute to it. But now it's time for sustained assault. So the only 2 units that have got destroyed to come back are the Sludge Grubs and the Curse Mites. So these are fast attacks, so they're going to come back on a 4. So this one doesn't come back, and the Curse Mites on a 4. No, they don't come back. So they're going to have to wait around, probably out of the game now. And the whole, just like the Hull Breakers, they come on from the board edge. They did advance, but they're just not going to contribute in the game whatsoever now. It's all over in the corner. Right, and we kicked off the psychic phase with the smite from the Demon Prince. It wasn't denied from the Librarian, and has put 3 wounds on the Dreadnought. So he's got 3 wounds left. The Contemptor, and we're going to try and finish him off right now. So we're going to fire the Mythic Blight Haulers, all weapons, at the Redemptor Dread. So the 2 melter guns. Reroll 1s because of the Demon Prince. So only 1 hit. He needs a 3 this time because he hasn't got the psychic power on him, and we've failed it. Right, little rocket launchers. Get 2 hits. Need 3s. We get 2, so you need to save these on 5s. Now, he's not obscured and he's not in cover because he's in the doorway there. So you need 5s to save. And he's only got 3 wounds left. So there's some dice. And he's filled them both. Right, this could be the end. Unless we roll a double 1, that's the end. Okay, so he's gone big time. Does he explode? So roll. He doesn't explode, so he goes down quietly in a crumple of metal in the doorway. Right, over here we've got a pistol shot from the aspiring champion. He's going to try and shoot this what's he called? Left hand in the back of the head, see him off. So we do get a hit, need a 4 to wound. We do not wound, so he's hanging on with his last wound. Then we've got shots over here to fire into this tower rock. So only got 2 wounds left. We'll probably be able to do it. So we've got them plague spitters at the tower rocks, and we only get 4 shots. It's been running low, but it's been doing some good work. Strength 6, so we need, that's okay on a 4. So it's 1 wound you're going to need to save on a 4, which you do. And that's it. So we're going to have to come over with this plasma gun on the Rhino. So it's got 2 wounds left. Shall we just overcharge? No, because we'll lose our Rhino. So not overcharging. Do hit once, and it's lucky we didn't overcharge it. We do wound, you need to save on a 6 on that one. And it's on its final wound now. So we might need to get this done with a charge from the Rhino. Okay, so it's on to charge phase. So we're going to try and charge the only thing that we can in, which is this Nurgle. He needs a 9 on the dice to get up there and just try and get in, make up the numbers. So he's failed. We don't have any command points, so that's not going to happen for him. All right, and over here the Rhino just makes it into combat, survives the Overwatch, so he gets in. So we're going to have these charge in now, so it's easy done. So see how far they go, because we might be able to wrangle it so they're getting deep. 7 inches. They've got the fly keyword, so they're going to just buzz around and see where they land. Okay, so the Ice Stinger Swarms have landed on those ledges there, because with the new FAQ they can just go through units with the fly keyword again, which is most welcome. So that's the only charging unit, so they will fight first. So D3 each attacks, and we're getting 3 with that one and 2 with the rest. So we are hitting on 4s, and we can reroll 1s because of Vulgarar, because he's the leader of them. Right, so we'll get those, and they're only strength 2, so we need 6s to wound. It's the 6s to hit that we needed, but we do get 1 wound. This is on the intercessors, of course, because we need to kill the troops. And he survives, okay. Right, so it's static combats now. So Vulgarar will fight, and he's going to fight the intercessors first and foremost. We need to kill all those troops. There's only 3 intercessors left. Here we go. Hitting on 3s, reroll 1s for himself. He gets them. 3s to wound. This is scary stuff. Only 2. 7 on 5s. You need to get as many as you can.
Believe.
Oh, 2 dead at 2 damage each. There's only 1 remaining alive. Right, we're coming over here for static fights. We've got the Lieutenant. He's going to fight back against these Death Guard. So he's hit 3 times, because he hits on 2s, remember? It's just with his ballistic skill he doesn't. Needs 3s. Right, so 5s to wound. He gets a real 1s for himself, don't forget. And he does get 1 wound in the end, so we need to save on a 6 on power armor. No, and then we've got a Disgusting Resilient. No, so we'll lose a Plague Marine. Right, Plague Marines to fight back. He's only got 1 wound left, this Lieutenant. Please, let's just dust him. Power Fist. We got 1 hit with the Power Fist, needed 2. We get him, needs a 6 to save. And he's dead, finally. Torn down one of the Emperor's finest. Right, the Librarian, back to him. He's going to fight. He's still got Mighty Heroes and effects of 5 attacks. Needs 3, so he's got 3. And now he needs 4s, because he's buffed up with Mighty Heroes. Only gets 1, but it could do it. He's only got 1 wound left.
2 command point reroll.
Okay, so it's his last command point.
So get it back.
He does get the command point back.
4.
No. Alright, you might have wanted to save that for your damage actually, but anyway. He saves his invulnerable save. Just bounces clean off, don't even get the damage roll. What a lucky beast this guy is. Right, the Apothecary's turn, he's got 3 attacks. And he's hitting on 3s against Vulgarar. Just 1 wound needs to fell this monstrosity. So 3s, off you go. And he gets 2 hits. 5s needed. Doesn't get anything right. It's down to the Sergeant. He's got 4 attacks, the Sergeant. And he's missed with every single one. Something just isn't right. The Ultramarines just can't get any luck here. Okay, so this combat, we've already done it. The Rhino didn't manage to hit the Tower Rock, so that's still ongoing. As is this, so it's very surprising. So let's just do a head count here. There's 4 models for Nurgle, so we're outnumbering the Ultramarines, but the Intercessor is a troop, so he will override the Nurgle models. So that is still in the Ultramarines' possession, that last objective, and now it's time to see if the game continues. So the game continues on a 3. And that is a 4 on this Ultramarine dice. And the game will continue. So we're moving on to turn 6 for this battle. It goes on, and all the action is just totally on this objective on the left here. So just to recap for the Imperium, there's just this left with 1 wound and it's locked in combat. There's no forces left aside from the 2 characters and the last remaining intercessors here in the fight of their lives. And it's worth noting, at the start of every turn, the Ice Stinger Swarms spawn another one. So that's gone up to 4 now. We definitely outnumber the Ultramarines on there now. But of course, as we said before, the troop choice is blocking Nurgle from scoring that. And on the other side of the wall, what's coming up is the one Glitchling. He is a troop, so he's a threat. And the Poxwart is slow, but they might get there to do a long charge when it comes to their turn. So it's what can the Ultramarines do in this turn? They're not going to move They're just going to fight it out and try and cut down as many of these heretics as they can. Okay, so there's no moving phase, it's straight onto Psychic phase, so it's Smite from the Primaris Psyker Jupiterus. And he's going to send this into the back of this beast. And he passes on a double 5. The Demon Prince is on hand, he's just under there, so let's see if he can get an 11 and deny him. Almost 6, but that was a 1. So that will come off, so it's D3 mortal wounds on Vulgarar. 2, so disgustingly resilient. Can we deny him at the last hurdle? No, it's a double 1, he finally falls. What a menace he has been. So that's going to be a big load off for the Ultramarines. Okay, so with Vulgarar down, that's now opened up the Librarian and the Intercessor to be able to charge these Eye Stinger Swarms. He could fire, the Intercessor could fire off into the distance, it's not really going to make a difference. The things that he would want to kill, he's too back far from the window to be able to see anything. He can't see that Nurgle that he wants to kill. But anyway, back on with the Psychic phase, he's going to do Might of Heroes, and is he doing that on himself, the Librarian?
Indeed.
Okay. And that comes off on an 8, so he's back up. And it's time for the pistol shot. So he's got his Absolver Bolt pistol to fire into combat on these. This is the Apothecary firing his pistol. So Absolver has missed, and the Reductor pistol gets a 2 and misses as well. Alright, so we've just went on with the charges. So the Intercessor and the Librarian have gone in. So here comes Jupiterus, the Librarian, 5 attacks. And he's hitting on 4s against the Eye Stinger Swarms because they are hard to hit because they're little flies. So he does get 3 hits in the end, 2s to wound. And he kills 3 because we've got no saves whatsoever. So there's only 1 remaining. So that's a big load off so far. He's almost cleaned that the roof out. Then the Sergeant, he's got 2 attacks. He's got 3 attacks in his profile. And he's got a chainsword for a 4th attack, which is the Gladius stuck on his belt. And he hits twice because he's at a -1 to the Eye Stinger Swarms, and wounds on 2s. And he finally gets that last one. So the forces of Nurgle have been wiped out on there. We're going to have to see what the Death Guard can do in their next turn, on turn 6. Right, it's all about this little contingent of 3 Ultramarines on here now. So everyone's just pulled down the street as far as they can. The Poxwaters are the unit to watch. If they can get a long charge, they might be able to get there. But we need to try and hammer these characters with what we've got. So we've got heavy units there, and the Fetid Bloat Drone surrounding this little stubborn unit of Ultramarines now. And Sustained Assault still goes on, so this unit needs a 4. No, 4. Yes, they come back. This unit. Yes, they come back, and Vulgarar, the second, he does come back as well. See where he turns up on a 6, it's any board edge. Nope, so he's irrelevant. This unit needs a 6. Oh, they come on an any board edge, that could be big if the game goes on. This unit, okay, they're out of the game as well, so they're not going to contribute. There's no way, given the game length now. Alright, so the flies, the bane of the Ultramarines' existence, are back 6 inches on the board edge. They can charge from there. Alright, it's just destined to go Nurgle's way. These just coming back right in the spot. It's almost embarrassing, but it's funny at the same time. So the Demon Prince, he's going to smite the Apothecary. Or attempt to, anyway. And attempt was the right word, because he doesn't do it at all. So it's straight on with the shooting phase. Let's have the Plague Spitters up at the Librarian, so let's see what happens. We've got 9 shots. Finally, he finds his voice there. So, wounded on 3s. And
don't forget he's got an extra 2, so I don't know what he's...
No, I'm still strength 6. So it's not going to bother, because you're toughness 5. So anyway, there's 7 wounds.
Okay.
And you're saving on... you're in hard cover. So he's 7 on 2s, so it's not such an issue after all. And
I don't think so.
Is, so he's taking 3 wounds. Okay, well that was beyond successful. Right, it's time for these. These are the main ones. So we're going to fire the 1 melter gun to the Librarian. We're going to fire 2 rocket launchers at the Intercessor and 1 melter gun at the Apothecary. and both plague spitters at the apothecary. So the plague, the bile spurt as it's called, bile spurt. It's D3 shots each, so we're coming away with 6 shots there. So we're hitting on 4s, and we'll reroll 1s because of the Demon Prince. So 3 hits, 3s to wound because it's strength 6. All of them, it's AP -1, so he's saving on 2s again in hard cover. And he keeps on rolling 1s. The apothecary's got 1 wound left. And now he's going to get whooshed with a melter gun.
That's the librarian.
The librarian did. What did I say?
Apothecary.
Alright, librarian. Get me words mixed now. So the multi-melter at the librarian has missed. The multi-melter at the apothecary has missed. Alright, the 2 missile launchers at the intercessor have both hit. 2s to wound. We get them both. It's AP -2, but you're in hard cover, so you're on a basic 3 save. He saved the first one. You got another one to save because there's 2 wounds there. And he saves that one. Crucial stuff. Okay, so it's still not out the woods yet for the Ultramarines. It's time for charging. So we have the Poxwater unit around the corner there. I'm stretching on the table, just about to fall over. So we've already measured it. It's 6 inches to there, 3 inches to there. So that's 9 inches. So we're going to need an 8 on the dice. We've got no command points to reroll this. This is basically a game-winning roll here if we can get this. Boom. 8. And so the Poxwaters are in, and so is a little glitchling as well. So he's gone in, but these didn't make their charge, so they stay out of the fight. So it's just, once again, a line of ugly, ugly Nurgle things. Alright, and the librarian heroically intervenes around the corner, and now he's into the combat as well. The apothecary can't because he's stuck fighting that glitchling. So here we go. The fight to decide the fate of this battlefield. Alright, here we go. And so we've got 6 Poxwaters fighting this intercessor, and 1 Poxwater is going to try to look with this librarian. So, and he's the biggest one. So the biggest Poxwater on the librarian will get 1 hit. We'd need a 5. We do wound him. He's got to save on a 3 or else he'll become a zombie. Oh, he's got a command point reroll. The last one. Can he save himself from being a zombie?
I'll get it back. I do.
He does get the point back, but does he stop himself being a zombie? Yes, he does. Right, well that was a close call. So the rest of the Poxwaters onto the intercessor. 5s to hit because we're not 10 strong, but that is respectable all the same. No reroll 1s, we're just outside of the Demon Prince, unfortunately. Right, 5s to wound. Get him. 2 wounds, that could be it. 3s to save. And he saves. Boo.
Yay.
Right, my glitchling now is going to fight the apothecary. And he gets 1 hit. And he gets a reroll 1s because he's got plague thing. No. Right, so here comes the librarian with his stalwart defense. 5 attacks. Hitting on 3s this time. And he only manages 3. With his wounded arm, he's got a chunk taken out of it from the jaws of a zombie. 3s to wound, he gets 2. Right, so this is D3 damage each, so the first damage roll is 3, and the second blow is 2. So the first Poxwater dies, but almost doesn't, and then the second dies, but almost doesn't. So there's 2 Poxwaters down. Right, the Intercessor Sergeant now, he's got 4 attacks, and he's obviously fighting the zombies. 3s to hit. He gets 3. 3s to wound. Gets them all. Right, we need to save on Disgusting Resilience for 5. Oh, 2 more zombies down. How many have we got left? We've got 3 zombies left. 3 zombies left. Okay, so the Apothecary is going to fight the zombies. Because he's within an inch, so 3 attacks. Hitting on 3s, he gets 2. Needs 3s. He gets 1. Needs 5. We get it. Save. Zombies stand tall. Right, now that is all the Ultramarines can do, so let's do a head count here. So there's 1 Intercessor, he's a troop, so he's got the objective secured, but we've got objective secured in here with the Death Guard. So we've got 1, 2, 3 zombies. That's already going to outnumber him, and then he's also a troop. So there we go. We've outnumbered the Intercessor. We gain this objective, and that is the final objective claimed in the Garden of Nurgle. So it was a hell of a defense from the Ultramarines. They just did not want to let that go in the end. But outnumbered by zombies, they will fall back and join the rest of the force in Hyperia and leave Dontoria to the Gardeners of Nurgle. So how does this end? So Sergeant Christus holds off the undead filth, allowing for the 2 main men to board the incoming dropship, and then the rescue craft leaves for Hyperia.